So, yeah, the summer transfer window. Fun times. Fun times. It was interesting. We lost a couple players I thought we were going to keep. And then we brought in a couple players that I think did make the team a lot better. And we didn't spend a ton of money doing it, which was good because a lot of the players we brought in on freeze have pretty much maxed out our salary. And I have an interesting infographic to show you about that. My name's FM20. It's time to get real. So yeah, the summer transfer window took me a bit to get through. A lot more scouting than normal, a lot more trial players than normal, a lot of contracts I walked away from, which is probably giving my reputation a bit of a hit, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. These were the players we released: Eden Ramick, Moussa Banda, Echu, Mikel Garonio, Pablo Parafita, Jose Manuel Ortega, Jose Luis Garcia, and Borja Gonzalez. The only one I was really kind of upset to lose was Michael Garonio, who was a fairly good defensive center back for us. He did not want to re-sign with us, and I'm not quite sure why, especially as he is still out there. And depending on what happens, I may or may not bring him back in again. We shall have to wait and see. Oh, new season, new skin. This is the Pequeño Gremio skin. Let me check here real quick. Pequeño Genio 88 dark skin. It's a combination of a bunch of other skins. I do like the Tad 20 skin that I was using last season. The owner of the skin made a couple of changes, and one of the things that happened was, in particular, like the starting screen and the player screens and the screen flow screens would constantly reset. And it just got to be too annoying to keep going back in and fixing them, especially now that I have my screen flow set up. I'm in La Liga now, so I figured it'd be a good idea. I was going to do this even if we didn't get into La Liga. But one of the things I did do was set up my screen flow, and this is it right here. This is everything we are scouting thus far. And frankly, this is one of those ways that I am able to get more than a few players without having to spend a ton of money scouting them. And hopefully during the course of what happens in this video here, I can give you a little bit better example of that. But ScreenFlow, this is a great tool, especially if you set it up right. There is the possibility of too much information overload, and things like that. But this has been a great help to me ever since I started playing FM. Lo, those many years ago, all three of them. The free transfers out. Andres Barrera went to UD Las Palmas. Alexander went to El Ejido. Diego Martinez and Samuel Boniface went to Fuenlabrada, but they're both on the under-19s. On the ends, Lassina Traore from Ajax. And this is an example of one of those really good pickups. 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. Plays a really good advanced forward. I needed some depth, especially with... I sent Mizian back out on loan again. I don't want to move Hardy and a couple of the other players around. Physically, he's very, very good. Mentally, the aggression's a bit on the low side, but everything else is nice. His off the ball is nice. The 11 determination, I like a determination in double digits. I'm okay with that. The positioning could be a little bit better, you know, but he's 22 years old. He is Gabonese? Burkina Faso. He is the Burkina Faso starting striker, and as you can see, well, we'll go to that. Well, they had the African Cup of Nations, and he had 6 goals in 4 games, I want to say. Technically, he's pretty good. 14 dribbling, 15 finishing, 14 first touch, 14 long shots. Passing's been on the low side, but the 15 technique is nice. 22 years old, is only going to get better. We got him on a free. He's valued at 5.5 million euros already. We're paying him 12,000 euros a week. As an important player, and he has been really good for us. You know, runs down with the right, moves the ball to the right before dribbling, runs with the ball often. Ajax let him go because, frankly, they're Ajax and they got a ton of depth. Last year for Willem on loan, he had 11 goals in 29 games. He's had some okay seasons. Looks like they got him from CF Hemo. And then he went to Ajax Cape Town and then Ajax and young Ajax. But, they let him go on a free. He had a couple other offers, but he decided to come to Hyen. Joel Worrell, defensive center back, can also play defensive left back. Needed some depth, especially with Gronyo leaving. Solid physically, solid mentally. Technically, he's not the best, but he's good where it counts. 15 heading, 12 marking, 14 tackling. The 13 positioning, 16 leadership's nice. The 11 determination is nice. Mental, his aggression, anticipation, bravery, composure, all those are very, very good. Physically, he's solid. 6'4", only 141 pounds though. Something tells me he'd blow away in a stiff wind. But again, comes in on a free, valued at 3.9 million. He's on a decent contract for us too, just 9,500 euros a week. Lorenzo Moretti, I needed some backup at defensive right back, and I brought him in, and then as soon as I brought him in, Gymnastic de Tarragona asked for him out on loan, and I took a look at what I had, and I said, yeah, sure. He's gonna get full team playing first. He's gonna get first team playing time while he's out, which means he's going to improve a little bit more than he would here. He'd be just a backup here and playing the B squad games. And on a tangent, I found out that I'm not going to get an official B squad. It's something that's hard-coded into the Spanish leagues, that if you're a club and you don't start out with an official B club, like, Celta de Vigo B, Salamanca B, Malaga B, no matter how high you get promoted, no matter how good you improve your facilities, your youth facilities and everything like that, your B squad is your B squad. And for me, that means sticking my players on there. The coaches I can only hire on amateur contracts for no money. So there's nobody worth any quality who's going to come in. And the only way around it is to go in and edit the save. But the problem with that is there's a decent chance you could screw things up if you don't know what you're doing. And I don't want to do that. So we're going to suffer with not having an official B squad and having my coaches do more duties than they should. So that's what's going on there. Back to Moretti. We're talking about Moretti. He's fairly solid. Again, 21 years old, 2.5-star current ability. I want to say 4-star potential ability. I don't know that he'll ever see that, but he's someone who can also play defensive center back. He's one of those guys you bring in and sit him on the bench. He can play two positions really, really well. Cesar Bernier is a youth player I brought in. Going to retrain him at defensive left back. He's on the under 19 squad right now. 2-star current ability. I want to say 4-star potential ability. Let me go. Yeah, 4-star potential ability. Okay, physically. Okay, mentally. He's good where it counts. Technically, he could get a little bit better. Although the 13 passing is nice, especially for a wing back. His finishing is okay. His crossing is nice. Everything else could use a little work. And hopefully he's going to be getting that while he is out on loan. Next in, Julian Rusev. I needed help at defensive right back, and one of my scouts found him. He is Bulgarian. This is one of the, you'll see this happen a couple of times. This is one of the side effects of the new gen face pack that I downloaded. You'll get mismatches because they don't really have a way of matching ethnicities. And frankly, I'm okay with that. I brought him in because I needed depth at defensive right back, and then once he signed, I realized he was a lot better than I thought he was. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, 20 years old, capped at the under 21 level for Bulgaria. Physically, very, very solid. Mentally, he's really, really good. When a 4 flare as a defensive right back is your worst attribute, you're doing okay. He's going to get better. He's 20 years old. These will improve. Technically, he's solid where it counts. 10 crossing, 13 first touch, 11 marking, 13 tackling. And 9 passing is a little bit on the low side, but Robles actually started the season injured, which was one of the reasons I was after a solid defensive right back and a good backup. And Rusev fell in my lap. Comes to us from Tournament's 1919 Burgos on a free. I don't know why they let him go. He came across one of my scout recommendations. Hey, this player's available, and I scouted him, and he popped up as 2.5 star, 3-star, I want to say. I brought him in on trial, and he agreed to come in on trial, and then I saw his stats and his potential ability and was like, I am totally there for that. So, Jacopo Sampdero, and I'm pronouncing it like it's Italian, but it might not be. He's here for depth on the under-19 squad. I've got a ton of players loaned out, and I decimated my under-19 squad as a result. So I just needed depth, and he's here as a depth guy. And then, let me see here real quick. I'm really kind of annoyed that the potential ability isn't popping up here. Let me see. So yeah, he's 3-star potential. I'm forgetting where I need to click on this particular skin. Gabor Kovac. It looks like Kovacs, but he's Hungarian, so I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. 19 years old, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Again, one of the things I did was I loaded the Croatian leagues, and I hired in a scout who's fairly knowledgeable in that area, and that's one of the things I need to go back and do is update my scouts. Advanced midfielder on the left. I wasn't quite sure if Yardi was going to come back, and then he resigned, and then I realized I needed depth, especially with Banda leaving. Really, physically, very, very good, except for the jumping reach and the strength. He's 5'6", 138 pounds, so I'm not too worried about that. Mentally, he could be a little bit better. The 4 positioning, the 5 vision, the 5 decision making, and 5 composure are all very, very low. The 11 determination, 11 flair kind of make up for that, and he's decent teamwork too. Technically, he's very, very solid. If I was, a league or 2 below, I would have no problem starting him, and he would only get better. As it is right now, I was going to have him sit on the bench, and then Ibiza came and said, hey, we'd like to get him on loan, and he will be our starting advanced midfielder on the left. And I said, yeah, sure, because he's not going to get a lot of playing time here. He would have been on the under-19 squad. And frankly, he would have developed there, but it would have been a lot slower than he would have developed at Ibiza. But he's a long-term buy. That's one of the things I was trying to do this transfer window, was bring in some good quality youth players who not only could help keep us up, but could be here in the long run. And if, for whatever reason, they don't make the team, I know I can go back and sell them. I think, if he gets anywhere close to 3.5 stars, his value is easily going to go up to 10 times what it is now. David Darby, Englishman, 18 years old, 1.5 star current ability, 4-star potential ability, defensive center back, here for, and I'm clicking on the wrong thing, here for depth on the under-19 squad with an eye towards the future. Physically solid, mentally really solid. I mean, a 2 flair and a 3 leadership for a defensive center back. Those are your big complaints. Okay, big deal. Technically, he could be better. The 8 marking and 13 tackling, they're okay. The 9 heading's a bit on the low side, but he makes up for it with a 17 jumping reach. But then again, he's 18 years old. I got 3-4 years to really make him better. I turned around and loaned him out to Murcia, and this was something I did a lot this offseason. I brought in players expecting to bolster my U19 squad, and then other teams would say, hey, we want him to be a starter. I would be like, okay, starting against quality competition or playing on my under-19 squad. So I let a lot of players go. The kicker is the board, for whatever reason, won't let me bring in a loan manager. So I'm stuck managing all that myself. And frankly, it's a pain in the ass. Unai Alonso, striker, needed some help up top. 1.5 star current ability, 3-star potential ability here on the under-19 squad. He's one of those guys where a lot of teams want him on loan. I said, nope, I'm keeping him. He'll probably never, ever see the field as part of the team while we're in La Liga. But he's one of those players that I know I can bring in under free, train up and turn around and sell him, even for a little bit of money. 1.5 star current ability, 3-star potential ability. As you can already see with the up arrows, he's improving. Probably not this episode, probably not next episode, but the episode after that, we'll take a look at the attribute analysis and the schedule and whatnot. Actually, probably next episode, we'll take a look at the schedule. I haven't quite figured that out yet. That plan's written in jello on a hot Texas day. Comes to us from the Real San Sebastian C Squad, which is their under-19s, as I understand it. I took a flyer on him. He's here on a free. He's not costing us a ton of money. Max Mace, Belgian, 19 years old, capped to the under 19 level, 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, defensive center back. Brought him in on trial, and once I saw his physicals and his mentals, was like, holy cow, I need to sign him. And I got him for €1,500 a week. And you cannot beat that with a stick. 6 foot, 174 pounds, solid physically, solid mentally. Technically, he could use some help. The crossing, the dribbling, the finishing, the first touch, those could use some help. A 9 heading is okay. The 12 marking, 13 tackling, 12 technique is nice. Again, 19 years old. He will definitely improve. And he is also another one of those players that if, 3 or 4 years down the road, when he has filled out his 4-star potential ability, and keep in mind, this is 3.5 stars at La Liga level. So that already puts him up there with your pretty standard defensive center backs. He's here for 3 years. I'm sure we'll re-sign him to another one. Din Sula was a player who showed up on the scouting reports, and I brought him in on trial. I saw what I liked, and I signed him. He's here as, well, primarily he's going to be a backup. He's going to get a lot of playing time as well because he can play 2 positions really well, and the third position's not so bad. 3.5-star or 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, and I actually have quite a few players that are going out on international duty, and so he's going to have to step up and take their place as well. One of the reasons I got him was that he's a good advanced forward, but he's equally good at all the other positions, including target man, and I needed a backup for Ruiz. So 5'11", 158 pounds, solid physically, solid mentally. A 7 leadership is his worst score. I can't complain about that. 15 determination is nice. The anticipation is nice. The work rate's solid for this level. Attribute wise, technically he's solid where it counts. The marking and tackling are a bit low, but then again, advanced 4. But 11 dribbling, 14 first touch and finishing, 13 technique, 11 passing. I may have overpaid a bit for him, but he's one of those players I thought I needed because, it pays to have, if Poirot or Ruiz have a bad game, if Poirot has a bad game, I can bring on Traore. If Ruiz has a bad game, I can bring on Sula, and I'm not really losing anything. Gorka Martinez is a youth player. Doesn't look like it from his photo, but he is definitely a youth player. 17 years old. Brought him in and then turned around and loaned him out to Atletico Baleares. 1.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. I don't know how real that 5-star potential ability is, but he graded out at an 82. So brought him in on clicking all over the place again. Brought him in on a trial. Saw that. Kept him here for a couple games. He did really well for us. Signed him. He's on a contract where we're paying him €675 a week. I had him here for maybe a week, and then Atletico Baleares turned around and said, hey, we want him to be our starting defensive center back. And I said, yeah, sure. Physically, he's solid. Mentally, there's a few places he can improve, especially teamwork and vision. Determination is okay. Bravery, aggression are nice. Technically, he needs help. The 13 heading is nice. The 11 marking, 9 tackling are okay, but the crossing and the first touch and things like that are going to need some help. But again, 17 years old. I mean, why not take a flyer on something like that? And then last but not least, the Swiss Army knife. That is young Marcus McGuane. I could make this up if I tried, and I'm reasonably sure if I wanted to, I could retrain him as a striker and put him in goal as well. So, comes in as a ball-winning midfielder who I'm going to try. I want to play Rochi a bit more. I actually got some really good midfielders in as well to replace Mianic, who didn't come back to the team. McGuane is 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He's here on 11.5 or almost €12,000 a month, or €12,000 a week rather. And then Shamrock turned around and wanted him right back. He's one of those players who, as you can see, he's solid. He doesn't excel at any one area. He's not horribly bad at any one area either. Physically, solid. Mentally, he's good where it counts. Technically, again, a little bit low in a couple areas, but nothing to really worry about. I mean, he's not going to be taking corners. He's not going to be taking free kicks. He's decent. But again, he's also a guy that I can stick on the bench, and he can come in and play almost anywhere and do a reasonable job. Sure, they got him in as a midfielder, but, he's at least, hey, I need a defensive center back. He can come in. I need an advanced midfielder. He can come in. This one guy, he might not get a lot of starts, but he will definitely see a lot of playing time. And that is it for the free transfers. Loan deals. These are all the players who went out on loan, and I'm tracking them individually. It's a pain in the ass. Mizzy went out again. Diallo went out, and Gula went out. Tendio went out. I put him out there. No one picked him up. The one team that did make a contract offer for him wanted me to cover all of his salary. And as much as I want to get rid of him, I don't want to get rid of him that much. The cash and clause transfers. So on the outs, the first, Nicholas Shapakase. This was a bit of a surprise, to be honest with you. The season ended, and he came and was upset because I broke my promise to strengthen the midfield. And I went back and I looked and I realized, yeah, I did promise to strengthen the midfield. And I did strengthen the midfield. Heck, my midfield was one of the reasons we got promoted. And he pitched an absolute fit. And I was like, you know what, dude? Maybe there's a reason you were available on a free. And he said he wanted to transfer. I said, okay, fine. I put him out there. Nottingham Forest snapped him up for 675,000 euros. I don't know that I got value for him in terms of, they say he's worth 3.1 million euros now, but you know what? I got him in on a free. He was solid for us. 20 starts, 1 goal, 2 assists, only a 6.66, but again, solid for us. I can't complain about that. I can complain about his attitude tanking when he tried saying I didn't do anything to strengthen the club. And then John Andrew Obeso went out. I brought in all these young defensive center backs, and he decided he didn't want to be here anymore. Came in, and I downgraded him from like an important player to regular starter, squad player, something like that. And he came in and was just all upset and was like, oh, I want to leave. And I was like, okay, dude, you can leave. So he went for, I want to say 300,000 euros. Yep, 300,000 euros to Tarragona. Spent the one season with us on a free, was really, really good. 33 appearances, 1 goal, a 7.02 rating. He and Garonio split time. The fact that we got 300,000 euros for him after we picked him on a free, that's a little bit of money in the bank. On the ends, these two are actually, I would think, coups, and you'll see why here in a minute. I needed midfield help, and I went and I saw that Igor Jurkin was on loan from Red Star. And then when I went to make my offer, and again, the face pack is just being the face pack. When I went to do the transfer offer, you know what? Let me go back to just another random player here. When I went to make an offer, I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I was busy looking at some paperwork, and I looked down, I clicked make inquiry. And Red Star came back with this offer for 1.8 million euros. And I'm looking at this going, 1.8 million euros for an 18-year-old who's already capped at the under-19 level for Serbia. He's a natural ball-winning midfielder. He's this good already physically. He's this good already mentally. And technically, he is solid, and he's 18 years old, and they only want 1.6 million for him. I got him down to 1.2 with appearance bonuses, I want to say, more than anything else. He's here on 700 euros a week. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. It says he's fairly susceptible to injuries. I don't know about that. I've had more than a couple of players that say have been susceptible to injuries, and the player who was supposed to be healthy has ended up getting injured the most. So, but yeah, he's definitely come in. He's gotten a couple of starts for us. 3 appearances, 6.70 right now, 5 appearances and assist in the friendlies. He's capped at the under-19 level, so he'll be gone for a couple times there. He's turned a 5-year contract. I suspect in a couple of years, he's going to come back and want to renegotiate. And I would be like, I am totally on board with that plan because I expect him to be really, really, really good. He strikes me as one of those players who, if there was a hall of very good, he would probably end up in it if he improves the way I think he's going to improve. And then Bakary Diatta. As much as I moaned and groaned about Abubakar Karamoko, he had a solid season for us last year. I'm positive I overpaid for him, but I had to. He was a panic buy, and I was weak at defensive right back. And then in the offseason, Karamoko tore his thigh, and he was going to miss the first 2 months of the first season in La Liga. And so I needed some help there. I got a couple players who can play right back. Yardi can play advanced midfielder. I'm sorry, he plays advanced midfield on the right. Yardi can play advanced midfield on the right, but I want to keep him on the left. I mean, I could bring Yardi over and then start Powell, but I went to see who was available, and there were a couple players that were available. There was a youngster from another German club that I went and made an offer for. They wanted like $3.5 million for him. Bakary Diatta came up, and 25-year-old Gambian international. He's 4 years older than the other guy I was looking at signing, and he is heads and shoulders better than him already right now. And the fact he can play all four wing positions really, really well. 4-star current ability, 4-star potential here on 11,500 euros a week. Physically, really, really good. Mentally, really, really good. The 7 positioning is a little bit low for me, but I can live with that. Technically, he's solid. I mean, the 7 crossing is a little bit low, but I can live with it. The dribbling is okay. First touch is a bit on the low side. I'm hoping I can get that up a little bit, but if not, it's something we can live with. He's had a solid career. I mean, he had 34 appearances, 6 goals, 2 assists for Hamburger last year, and then he had 26 and 4 for their B squad. If I can get something like that out of him this season, and with him and Karamoko switching out, and then I can also stick him on the bench. He can come in and replace Yardi as well if need be. I'll be more than happy. He already has 1 goal for us this season so far, so we're getting our money's worth out of it for 600 and what was it, or 525,000 euros. I'm getting a player who is already better than the other player I was looking at, who was 5 times more expensive. So transfer-wise, this is the entirety of our transfer window. We brought in 1.7 million. We sent out 975,000. Budget-wise, we're up against it on the payroll. I've still got 6.2 million euros left. So if I wanted to make an adjustment, I could. I can go from 150 to 250,000 euros a week, which I don't think I'm going to need to do. But this brings up something I do want to show. Just a second here. So this is the match day and ticket revenue in La Liga. One of the other things that I wanted to bring up, and I don't know that I screenshotted that one. Let me double check here. I didn't. It's the payroll comparison, and the scale is very much similar to this. Our payroll is 150,000 euros a week. Madrid's payroll is 5.25 million euros a week. So they're spending, I don't know, it's late, math is hard, that much more money on payroll alone. And that's what we're up against. We've been tipped to get relegated. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a hard fight. If it does happen, we're going to go down swinging. This is the budget here so far. Overall, 23.5 million euros available. I did get them to upgrade the analysts room. So now instead of folding tables and metal chairs, they have a nice table and nice chairs. I'm working on getting them a sofa. I did start another coaching course. It's one of the other things I had an issue with the TAD20 skin is that I could go to the board and make a request to go on a coaching course, and then nothing happened. So I literally had to reload the base skin, go on my coaching course, and then I went back into tab 20, then I was looking around and saw this on FM Scout. I thought I'd give it a whirl. Season-wise, the preseason was a lot longer than I thought it would be. We got a decent amount of friendlies in. We lost our association with Malaga because we're in La Liga now with them. I did go out and find a lower league affiliate, and I picked Terrassa because they had the best training facilities and the best youth facilities, and financially they were the most solid. They are third division Group 5, which is where we started out. I mean, we started out third division, so I have no problems sending my players there. They came on too late for me to really send anybody there. Literally, they cropped up as an affiliate the first week of August, and I shoehorned a game in with them. A lot of these teams that I did play, I played because we made money doing it. Sure, Sevilla stomped us, but we beat Granada, we beat Recreativo Granada, we beat Cordoba B, Atletico Madrid. They needed a late goal, if I remember correctly. No, they needed a 75th minute goal. Powell got us close on a penalty kick. I was happy to make it through the preseason where everybody came out healthy. And I didn't get that. We looked at it before, but as you can see, Karamoko tore a thigh muscle. Ruben Garcia, who was my advanced midfielder, who tore his ACL last year, broke his leg. He's out another 3 months. I suspect he is not going to be. Oh, then this is my defensive right back. I'm thinking of someone else entirely. I'm thinking of Ramos. Ruben Garcia was going to be my backup to Robles. 2.5 star current ability, 3.5 star potential ability. He broke his leg. He's out for at the time it was 3 to 5 months. So, and that's why I ended up bringing in the players I did, at least at defensive right back. So, schedule-wise, it's going to be rough. Preview-wise, we're 750 to 1 to go down and finish in 20th place. I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to be in a dogfight. There's just no two ways about it. None of my players are picked to finish as part of the best 11 fee-wise. Real Madrid sold Rodrigo for 125 million, but Barcelona brought in Florentino Luis. Samuel Dembele went to Man City for 109. Joseph Mas went to Arsenal for 93. Martinez came in from Inter. This is only the type of money I could only hope to spend. Matthias Arezzo, 53 million. I had him in my Forza Milan save, and I didn't pay nearly that. He must have really jumped up after the January transfer window. That's insane. I mean, he's good. I don't know if he's 53 million euros good at this young age. But wow. I mean, yeah, he's good. He'll get better. I mean, if he fully develops, he'd be one of the best strikers in the game easily. But man, I paid that much for him already? Okay. I don't know that I paid that much for him. I'd have to go back and double check. But getting back to the schedule. Sevilla, we drew 2-2. This was a banger of a game. I took a Bakary Jota goal in the 90th minute for us to draw. Tammy Abraham scored on a penalty kick. This was one of those games where I looked at it and was like, holy cow, yeah, we're in La Liga. It's going to be a really, really tough time. One of the things I do like about this skin is that you can resize the windows, which is very, very cool. I'm not a real fan of the player ratings and everything like that being on one page, but one of the things you can do is go over here and do real high in body language, so you can mess around with this and see where you guys are and fool around with it just a little bit. It's like, okay, how much more can I go over before I lose it? It's like, oh, okay, right there. So we go back just a little bit. They had 2 woodwork hits. We had one that I still don't know how it didn't go in. They had 24 shots, 10 on target. We had 14 and 10. That is slight possession advantage. I haven't changed my tactic at all, really. I'm still playing the 4-2-4, control possession, attacking. It got us here. We're going to sink or swim with it. I do have a couple other ones that I can pull out if I need to, but I'm really hoping I don't need to. The 4-2-4 is done as well. It's what my guys know. That's what we're going with. Then against Getafe. They're not the best team. I really thought we had a chance against them. against them. And this is what killed us right here. 3 woodwork hits, including 2 in the last 10 minutes of the game. It was just, we were their equals this game. 14 shots, 5 on target. They're 12 and 5. We had 6 off target, 3 woodwork hits, 3 clear cut chances, a slight possession advantage. And as you can see from the shots over here, we had our opportunities. And I like the fact that only a couple of ours were from distance. This one here from Jerkin was a screamer that Gonçalves did a really good job getting a hand on. And then against Levante, this was a bit of a surprise. Levante is a decent club. I mean, they're picked to finish mid-table, And the one thing I have noticed playing these first few games is that, their players are just a little bit better than ours. So, but my defenders have really stepped up. The score in all these games could have been a lot higher, but everybody has stepped up and made some very nice saves. This was a really even game. 16 shots, 10 on target for us, 16-7 for them. They had the one woodwork hit. We had 10 shots on target, though. And it took a Pedro Ruiz goal in the 84th minute. We finally broke them down. The one thing I do like is, again, that's them. Yep. That's them. This is us, because it's Yardy right there. The one thing I do like is almost all of our shots came from inside the box. Rusev had a player of the match worthy game. I think if I remember correctly, he was just really, really good defensively. He had a couple saves to help out Valentin that were just, the ball was coming in, Valentin was out of position, and he stuck himself there, and he kicked one away, and the other one he blocked with his body somehow, and he saved a goal. So it's going to be interesting. We are definitely going to go down fighting. The one thing I am a little bit disappointed in, let me type this in here real quick. I got to look over my mic. Lionel Messi retired. He wants to be a head of youth development. He's not a very good head of youth development. So usually I see him come in as a coach. And there was one save I had, a personal save, where he became head coach of Bilbao, I want to say, and it was in the Champions League with them. Ronaldo. Well, Cristiano is still playing, so one more year probably, and then who knows? But yeah, that's the transfer window. I thought about playing a game, but we weren't really going. Do we play Atletico Club? 10. No, you know what? I'm going to call this here. Next episode, we're going to play Athletic Club and Deportivo La Coruña, and we'll see how we're doing there. Thus far, I've gone back to this page a couple of times. We've scored 3 goals. We've allowed 3 goals. We lead the league in yellow cards. It's just a given, seeing as how much we're going to be fouling people. 9,000 average attendance. We're still not packing the stadium, at least at home. We sold out all of our home tickets, though. But like our home opener, we only had 9,000 fans. It's really kind of a bummer, seeing as how the stadium seats 12. I mean, this is our max right here. This 12,569. So, I mean, we can get them in if we're playing big teams. And, freaking Sevilla is a big team. They're in the Champions League, for crying out loud. And we held them to a draw. I'm really happy about that. So, it's going to be an interesting season. I'm back down to a B+, but, that's going to happen. I've got the math figured out. I'm working on the math for the schedule. I will highlight that next episode, and we'll go from there. So I'd be interested in what you think of my transfer window. If you like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM20. I thank you